312. This thing is currently out of stock, by the way.
Oh, really?
On their website, at least. I don't know if it is on on Amazon or whatever, but. This is episode number 312 of the Homeowners Show. Whether you're DIY or looking to hire, we're here to help you find the best information and options for you and your home. My name is Kevin Hackett, and here with me is Craig Williams.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the Homeowners Show. We are so glad that you could join us for another live episode. We're back in the studio. What's up, Kev?
Here we are. That was a little growly this morning.
A little growly?
And it's not even the morning. It's the afternoon. And it's not even the afternoon. It's night.
It's nighttime.
I mean, I'm all over the place, dude. But
Yeah. Well, I spent the weekend singing
I can't tell.
at a camp, and I was tired.
Yeah, and I was tired.
When it was all said and done.
Well,
and
I'm sure you
like
did.
not only that, Texas is Texasing right now with like
Dude.
constant weather temperature
I don't
changes.
think it's just Texas, though. Like, I'm seeing this all over.
Well, yeah, there was a
it's
big winter
crazy.
storm that kind of moved through. We have a friend up in Maryland. I think they were expecting like 13 inches of snow,
Oh, my goodness.
which is, I mean, like for them is a nightmare.
Yeah, right.
So
I mean, it doesn't even matter where you're at. 13 inches of snow at once.
yeah,
That's,
I'd feel
that's a
bad
lot.
for them, but they chose it. I mean, they picked Maryland. I
What are you
mean,
gonna do?
I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, it's so close to D.C.
I know. and look, everybody's leaving right now.
They are.
because they're all getting fired.
Well, yeah,
So
you're not wrong.
what have you like? We haven't talked in a while. Like, what do you think about all that, man?
Okay. Here's my thought behind all of this.
All of it, or like
All of it.
okay, all of it.
I mean, all of it, because we could go with the people getting laid off. We can talk about
So put it into context. We're specifically talking about Elon working through Doge,
Right.
investigating,
Right.
and then like the big one was
USAID.
US.
Yeah,
I mean, people call it USAID, but it's not. It's AID.
AID. Yeah, USAID. Here's the thing with all of it to me. I just think it's long overdue. I mean, and I'm not talking just as someone who voted in a Republican way.
Right.
I'm talking that in general, we have a system set up for checks and balances, and yet very little has been checked or balanced whenever it comes to our spending. And so, as a taxpayer, as someone who spends money that goes to the government, I'm glad that someone is looking into how it's being spent.
Right.
Now here's the thing. I got a lot of friends that work or are associated with organizations that benefit from USAID. And they're very upset that the money has been taken away.
Sure.
I get it.
Yeah.
Because many of these organizations are extremely valuable to human people, like humanity in general. Like,
You talking about like the where they're like providing like medical care,
Correct.
or like research, or
yeah, correct.
Yeah.
I mean, and I've got one very near and dear to my heart. It's a place called Mission Lazarus down in Honduras, and their medical funding has been pulled. Well, it's been devastating.
Sure.
And for that, I hate that. However, I have hope, and we'll see what happens. I mean, I'll be happy to admit that this was a horrible thing if this winds up not coming to fruition. But like, I have hope that those things that were funded that were really good will continue.
Yeah.
That right now, well, it's not unusual for halts to be put on things while checks are made.
Sure.
And I'll tell you, like, I don't know if you saw, did you see the image of Elon laying on the ground, like sleeping on the floor?
No.
Like there's this picture of him sleeping in a sleeping bag on the floor. And apparently this is like normal for him. When he gets in the middle of a project, he doesn't leave.
Oh yeah, he doesn't.
He doesn't
that makes sense.
stop. I mean, the man has a very singularly focused mind whenever it comes. It's why he's as successful.
It's why
as
he is who he is. Yeah.
And so literally he's in a sleeping bag on the floor,
right,
and just waiting for the next day to come. And so my thought is this: as a taxpayer, not forget party lines. I want to know that the trillions and trillions of dollars that are being spent, and we are in debt because of much of this, is not just frivolous spending. And I'll tell you right now, it seems like a lot of it is.
It seems like a lot is. Really,
and so that's where I fall on all of it.
I'll tell you where I kind of land on this. And I don't think it's going to be any surprise to people who listen to the show on a regular basis. But I've compared it to a family that's dealing with credit card debt.
Okay.
You know, when you finally reach the bottom of, look, we got to get our stuff together.
Yep.
Like the first thing that you do is you cut off every amount of unnecessary spending.
You have to.
That you have. And the unfortunate side of that is the things that seemed necessary in the past no longer seem necessary.
Sure.
You know, and for so many people, it's like, it's stupid stuff like a Starbucks coffee.
Right.
Or a Netflix subscription or whatever it is. Like it's things that you think are part of your everyday ritual in life that no longer seem necessary when you do the math and you add up that, like, oh my gosh, like I'm spending like a drunken sailor and something's got to stop. And the only way I know how to like slow the roll down of me being put into perpetual debt payments is to just cut everything off.
Sure.
Because, and then build back up from there.
And slowly reintroduce things.
You know, and somewhere, like, you know, if he had a longer mustache, Dave Ramsey is like twiddling it, going like, "I told you,
yeah,
I told all of you,
right?
It was gonna come to a breaking point."
Yep.
And what sucks is being, you know, and look, I'm no fan of Trump, but what sucks is being the guy that has to get everybody back in line and be like, "Look, you're all spending like drunken sailors, and I'm gonna have to be the bad guy to cut it all off."
Right.
And I feel bad for all the people that have lost their jobs. I really do.
Sure.
It sucks.
It does.
I've been in their shoes a couple of times. I've been fired. I've been let go. I've, you know, been wondering how I'm going to make a house payment. It's no fun.
No.
But part of building character and you know, building resolve as a human being is figuring that stuff out.
Yeah, and also I don't know the situations, but it doesn't seem to me. And again, we don't know everything, obviously, but it doesn't seem to me like the people that were being laid off just willy-nilly.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's hard to know.
I don't know. There's not a whole lot of information on that.
But I think you're right. I mean, I'll tell you that the thing that's so difficult is the decisions we make in life, we justify.
Mm-hmm.
So let me give you a perfect example. Let's say I go to church on Sunday morning, and then after church, it's a regular thing for my family to pick another family or two or three and go to lunch.
Right.
And it's a community building opportunity. Like this is something we look forward to, all that kind of stuff. You get in a bind financially, guess what?
You don't get to go to lunch.
You don't get to go to lunch anymore. You're going home and eating bacon and eggs or whatever it is, like bacon, at home.
Eggs, really?
Yeah,
you highfalutin white
I know,
man.
we're so haughty toddy over here. But whatever it is, you're eating at home, and all of a sudden, but the problem with that is it hurts.
Yeah.
Because now I don't get to do, number one, something that I really enjoyed doing.
Yeah.
I justified that it was community building. That's the reason we did it. And oh, by the way, like it's something that feeds my soul.
Well, they're not only that, man, it's a pride hit.
Oh gosh. You're right.
It's a huge, I mean, like, because if anyone asks, I mean, like, what are you going to lie to them? You know?
Well,
like,
probably
no,
not.
Like, I mean, like, if you're smart, what you would do is be honest. Like, no, like
we've fallen on hard times.
We crapped the bed.
Yep.
You know, and the budget sucks.
Yep.
And it is what it is, and we can't go to lunch.
But here's the thing I would do, though, is I would tell that very same person, we're going to get this figured out, and this isn't a forever.
Right.
You know, that's what I would tell them. Like, this is, of all the things that I want to add back into my life, this is probably one of them. And so that's where I'm hesitantly optimistic
Right.
that look, it's been cut off so that we can truly audit what's going on. But in time, these things come back whenever we figure out, okay, we're going to move this over here, make sure that the budget lines up again.
Right.
And that's what I'm hopeful for.
So here's the scary end of all this, that there's a Rogan episode that he does with Mike Benz.
Okay.
And it's just north of 3 hours long.
Oh, gosh.
I listened to the whole thing.
Okay.
Mike Benz is a research journalist that has been tracking the activity of USAID for years.
Really?
Yes. And he's been singing this song for a long time of like, listen, guys, this is the most nefarious branch of our government. These are things that have been going on for years and years and years, and you just don't even know because most of it happens outside of the U.S.
Right.
In the name of aid.
Right. Literally.
And again, not all of it, but he's like, I encourage anybody to go listen to it. But what this guy says is years and years and years and years ago, the CIA was given a mandate that it could no longer go out and do political upheaval and assassinations without having a president's signature.
Okay.
His assertion is that when the CIA gets pissed off or the NSA gets pissed off, they hand it off to USAID.
Oh.
Because USAID doesn't have those kinds of restrictions.
Interesting.
And they can do all kinds of stuff in the name of all kinds of things.
Yeah, because there's first of all, whenever there's no checks and balances on that, now you give $1.2 million over here. Guess what you can do with that?
Yeah.
Whatever. Theoretically.
It's things like, why would American citizens be paying for the production of Romanian rap albums? I mean, like, it's stuff like that. And like, look, you can look at that and go, oh, like, why would we be paying for that? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Right? But did we actually do it?
That's
and if
a better
we did
question.
it, why did we do it?
Right.
And most of the time, what you'll see is the things that they're pumping money into is to create political upheaval in other countries.
Right.
And a lot of people like use Venezuela as an example of that. Like, we were not happy with the Venezuelan government, and we've tried several times to overthrow it. But then you have and so an interesting thing happened in 2011, 2012, where Obama made it legal to use propaganda against American citizens. That was never legal in the past.
Sure.
USAID was using propaganda against foreign entities that we wanted to have influence over.
Right.
Well, in 2011, 2012, Obama made it legal to do it to us. And USAID is the arm, at least according to Mike Benz, is the arm through which he enacted that, or did those things.
Yeah.
And so a lot of what they're uncovering when there's these lists of like, we're paying for this, we're paying for this, we're paying for this, we're paying for this, they're trying to expose the nefarious end of what the government's doing to manipulate us.
Yeah.
And not just manipulate us, but like manipulate other countries.
Sure.
And so then you start looking at there's a really good example, and I forget the name of it, but USAID paid to create a Cuban Twitter.
Really?
Have you heard about this?
No.
And what their idea was, if we can get enough people because Twitter at the time it was Twitter, now it's X.
Right.
At the time, Twitter was banned from Cuba.
Right.
Right? And so what they said is like, well, let's see if we can infiltrate it with a separate app that's designed just for Cubans. And like the name of it is like a Spanish word for like bluebird or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, it's like looking at it now, it's
Little
like
on the
really
nose.
little on the nose, guys.
Yeah.
But like it worked.
Okay.
It worked. They got like 100,000 people on the platform, and it was just to like talk. I mean, like very benign stuff. It was like, let's talk about like recipes, and let's talk about like what's happening on this side of the island. Like very much a social media experience. And then they started injecting
There we go.
political talk
Yeah.
and anti-communism ideas into the discourse in order to sway the populace against the existing government. Now, you can look at that and go, well, that's a fine thing because Cuban government sucks and communism's the worst. You can have that opinion.
Yeah.
But like, that's not your country.
That's the very definition of the ends justifying the means.
Yes.
That's exactly what that is.
But like then juxtapose that against the government being so aggressive against TikTok recently.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that was probably them going, well, hang on a second.
Yeah.
That's you trying to do it to us.
Right.
Very successfully.
Yeah.
And doing it to us really, really well.
Yep.
Have you ever seen the difference between like TikTok in China versus TikTok in the United States?
I haven't.
It's astounding, man.
Really?
Yeah, like TikTok in China, most of it is like teaching each other math programs and solutions.
Really?
Yeah. And like that's the big thing.
Education.
It's like an education platform in China. And over here, it's like, let me do this stupid dance and everybody laugh at me.
Yeah,
Like, it's stuff like that.
Interesting.
And it's like, what are you doing with that?
Right.
But then there's like all these political activists on TikTok that have
There
sort
are.
of come on board.
Yep.
And okay. And there's been like some Senate hearings. There's been some congressional hearings about it. And it got shut down for a couple days.
It did.
Because of that.
Yep.
So there's all this weird stuff going on with all of that. Anyway, interesting to me. And I will tell you, I have noticed recently that there are a lot of companies. One of the big things with USAID is they fund a lot of NGOs.
Yeah, they do.
For those of you that don't know, a non-government organization, which means that they don't exist within the government sphere. They act outside of those kinds of things, but they're receiving a lot of money from USAID in order to do whatever it is that they're doing. And I've noticed that there's a lot of companies that are posting like we're hiring. And people that I'm talking to, they're like, I've gone out for like multiple interviews, and all these companies that say that they're hiring, they're not hiring. They're not hiring.
Really?
Like it's a solid no, like across the board. And like solid candidates, like good candidates.
Sure.
People that would be fine for the kind of jobs that they're applying
But they're not hiring.
But they're not actually hiring. And I'm like, I'm wondering if they're concerned about their funding about to be yanked.
Well, they'd have to be.
I don't know the companies, but it's a trend that I'm starting to see across the board. So anyway.
Well, the last kind of exclamation point I'll put on this is anybody that is shocked that this is happening didn't listen.
Didn't listen. Yeah.
I mean,
he's been saying the whole time, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to do.
Right.
And like anyone, like I've seen all the wailing and gnashing of teeth about, Department of Education next on his radar. And I'm like, he's been talking about this since the last time he lost an election.
And I think that the problem that everybody's seeing is, number one, even if he did say that he was going to do it, I don't think many people figured he would do it
this
within
quickly.
The first month.
Dude, he's been moving with lightning speed.
I think that he realizes something. Whether you like it or not, agree with it or not, don't really care. I think what Trump realizes is he's got 4 years.
Yeah.
And that's it. And he doesn't have time after that.
I think there's also a if I do enough that they can't keep up with.
So
you know what I mean?
But how often has he done this in his life?
Done what?
Just what you just said.
Oh,
I will build faster. I will move quicker. I will raise more. I will do more. And you, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Because you can't keep
You can't
up.
stop all of it.
You can't stop all of it.
Right, yeah.
He's done that over and over with his life.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, it's like, and I think he's come in more with like his own persona strategy than I think the last time he was a little more tepid.
Yeah.
Because he didn't. I don't think he expected to win last time.
No, I don't think so either.
And I don't think he was prepared to jump in.
Right.
I mean, like,
or he may not even known what he could do.
That's the
You know
other
what I mean?
thing.
Like,
I think you could spend 4 years just learning the job.
Sure. And I think he did that. And then he spent the next 4 years learning what he could do.
Yeah.
And he started looking into things and going, and he probably had really, smart people surrounding him.
And you could look at that from a positive way or a nefarious way.
Oh,
There's two
absolutely.
different ways to take that.
Right. And I know plenty of people who completely sit here and disagree with everything we're saying and be, they're just upset with the man himself. And I get that. Trust me, I do see the other side of his coin.
I see some of the other side.
But
I don't see all the other side.
Well, I can get there, but I just disagree with it.
I don't buy into the he's a Nazi, he's the next Hitler, it's ultra fascism, it's ultra white nationalism. I don't get that. I mean, like none of the people that I know that are like really rabid supporters of him just fit that bill.
Sure.
And you can disagree with me. That's fine. I just from my observations, I just don't see that from the people that are surrounding him, that are around him, that support him. Yeah. I mean, like these guys are Americans. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to agree with them, but like it doesn't mean that like they're fascists.
Yeah.
I don't think that helps your argument at all to like go. Well, look, I mean, Republicans have been doing this for years. They've been playing the slippery slope game for years. Mm-hmm. It's ineffective,
right?
And like Democrats have like bit down hard on the slippery slope with Trump.
Right.
And it like nobody cares.
No.
Because they don't believe you anymore.
Right.
So and like just make a good argument.
Right.
Be persuasive.
And
I'm open to that.
But it's not happening.
Persuade me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one of the most let me tell you who I love more than anybody throughout this entire thing.
Uh-huh.
Caroline Leavitt.
Okay.
You know who she is?
Oh yeah.
The press secretary.
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness.
No, she brings the receipts.
She's 27 years old.
That's impressive.
And she does not back down.
No.
And not only does she not back down, she comes with information that previous administrations did not do. And I say administrations,
right?
Not just the last one. Came with information, with like answers, and she's 27. I mean, she's got the amount of information that she's able to store in her brain seems to be pretty unbelievable. So I don't know if you know, like, and I could be slightly off on this, but I believe that she was an intern during his first election.
Okay.
And he saw her and was like, this person's not just the average ordinary person. And the fact that, number one, the fact that she's got the job, pretty unbelievable. Number two, the way she's holding herself, pretty incredible. And number three, the fact that she's 27 just makes it all bonkers to me. And I love it. Yeah. So anyway, that is what it is, but that's not what we're here to talk about tonight.
Well, I'll also get my shot in here.
Okay, great.
I think we also need to recognize Brooke Rollins.
Oh,
I'm excited about Brooke Rollins.
Yeah.
So as the Secretary of Agriculture,
right?
Good old A&M grad,
yeah,
Texas gal.
Is.
So
yeah.
I'm excited about
Put
her.
her name in there.
One, I mean, like I'm excited about someone from Texas being Department of Agriculture.
Absolutely, again.
Oh yeah,
for sure. No, it's good.
But yeah, no, we're not. I mean, like we're gonna review the Shark AI Ultra.
After we talk about our sponsors. But we are going to do that. First, we're going to do is we're going to talk about Lone Star Appliance Repair. And
I've got them coming out soon.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, we've got a stove in the guest house. The heating element went out.
Oh.
But I don't know if you saw it when you came through the shop. I was going through a neighborhood and somebody had out by the road a KitchenAid wine cellar.
No.
It's like a $1,200 unit.
Okay.
And I brought it home and I plugged it in, and everything works.
Okay.
It's just like the coolant is not there, and like,
okay.
I just didn't want to mess with it.
Sure.
So I picked it up, put it in my truck, brought it home, and I'm gonna have the Lone Star Appliance Repair fix it up for me. It's gonna be like brand new.
What?
Yeah.
That's smart.
I mean, it'll cost me like a couple $100, but I'll have a brand new, like wine chiller.
Nice.
Like the super primo nice, top of the line.
That's great.
Double temperature.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm stoked.
Dude, that's sweet. I continue to be amazed at the number of people who are just willing to just chunk stuff like that.
I know.
Because there's no reason other than, I just don't like it anymore. I want something different. Honestly, talking about budget, like times are hard.
Right.
I'm just saying, like the amount of money I'm spending between gas and groceries right now is just crazy. So, anytime you can save a little bit of money and not replace something that doesn't have to be replaced, I think is wise. So, give them a call. I mean, they're first of all, they're just stellar people, and they're just wonderful, kind-hearted, good people out there making an honest living, doing things the right way.
Call the office, talk to Darlene.
That's it.
She wants to get you on the schedule.
She does. 936-647-2364 is how you get a hold of them. And next, we're going to talk about our friends over at True Texas Solar and Roofing.
Texas Solar. Look, I mean, here's the thing. The insurance world is about to change the roofing game.
It is.
You know, and so if you want to have an honest appraisal of your roof and you're interested in having solar on top of that, you need to have a company that knows how to do both.
Yeah, and they're not only roofing. I'm a little bit concerned, not for the positive, but a little bit concerned that some tax incentives are going to change as well.
I think so.
And so whatever that looks like, I still think solar is going to be a viable option. And
Right.
I think that people like True Texas Solar, I know for a fact that Josh and his team are already looking into, okay, what does that look like? How can we still provide a really great product and a really good opportunity for people that have this desire to be self-sufficient, to own their own energy, all of those sorts of things? How do we do that in the right way? They're already looking into that. So give them a call. And you know, here's the other thing. I would tell you, while the tax incentives are still going the way they are today,
Take advantage of them.
Yeah. Like, don't wait. Now's the time to do it, because anything can change. You know, we've just been talking about how quickly things can change. And I really do. I still think that solar is a good enough product that we'll figure out a way to do it. It's just probably the landscape may change a little bit.
Right.
But Josh and his team are on it. So call them, find out, get educated. They will help you get educated on what it is, what that can look like for you, how you can still own your own energy. And by the way, not just solar, like you said, they're full roofing company.
Yeah.
They're not just a roofing company if you get solar.
Right.
They're also just a great roofing company.
Yeah, if you just want to change your roof out.
That's it.
Yeah.
Or if you need to. Like now, I mean, honestly, if you're able to get your roof insured right now, do it.
Yeah.
I do it. After that conversation we had a few weeks ago, if you haven't listened to the episode that we had on insurance not too long ago, I would go listen to it.
Yeah, Ryan Adel actually sent me a message after that show, and he goes, dude, I don't know those guys, but they knew their stuff.
That's good. And you and I really appreciate Ryan. So
yeah. He takes good care of us.
So yeah, give him a call over at True Texas Solar and Roofing, 936-286-8325.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of quick news stories I want to go through before we get to the Shark AI vacuum cleaner, which honestly won't take too long.
No.
I've been using it in my house for a while now. But we got in trouble a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you know this.
No, I didn't even know. What did I do this time?
Well, you didn't do anything. It was actually me. It wasn't New Jersey this time.
Too bad.
It was Jason. It was over in Boston, or originated in Boston. It was my comments about Bill Burr.
Oh.
Got us in big trouble.
Okay.
Not in big trouble. I say trouble like because people did not like my comments.
Oh, well.
Which was shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking.
It's a little bit bizarre that you could not like the comment about a guy who took shots at a guy who literally got killed.
Right. So for context, I was pointing out a couple of things. One, that Bill Burr was upset about the families in California that had lost their insurance policies,
right,
because of the prior to the fires, and so they weren't covered. And then he said, "F those companies and free Luigi." Now, the ironic thing about that is the guy that shot the United Healthcare, Luigi, that company has nothing to do with homeowner policies, which the homeowner policies are the ones that cover people in the case of the fire.
Right.
So he was equating two different things. So one, he's a moron.
You can't. That'll never hold up in a debate anywhere.
No. I mean, you're just stupid. You're uninformed. You don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
Sorry, Bill Burr. Carry on with your life.
And you don't want to be friends with your brother? Okay, whatever.
Anyway, you're right. Yeah.
He's Billy Corgan by anyway. Okay, whatever.
Go cry in your clam chowder.
Yeah.
But anyway, he went on his podcast this week, and basically, he said that billionaires need to die. He called for the death of billionaires.
Ouch.
So look, I'm gonna read to you his comments off of his, and I'm gonna bleep a little bit of it because I don't feel like repeating some of his language. But anyway, he said, "There's so much effing money in this country, and there's so much work being done. If you work a full effing week, you should be able to pay your effing rent. You shouldn't have to go and get another effing job and still be struggling. It's bad for the country. Because then the kids don't see their parents, and they're not getting the upbringing that they need. These effing billionaires, they need to be put down like effing rabid dogs."
Wow.
So I was with him up until they need to be put down like effing dogs.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, I am all in favor of free speech, but what I am a big believer in is the consequences of the dumb shit that you say.
Yeah. Well, and okay, dumb stuff that you say. First of all, yeah, you're liable for those things. However, I draw a line at like the death of humanity,
right?
Whatever that looks like.
I don't care.
Yeah, like, you have no right to take away someone else's life
or call.
No.
Here's the thing. It's the most cowardly thing you could possibly say is I want other people to go kill them for me.
It's a good point. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, you want it done, go do it yourself.
Right.
And then we'll see you in jail where you probably deserve to be.
Yeah, seriously.
And,
well, and not
maybe you'll find true love in there.
That's good. That's a good one. Here's the problem I have with that, though, is that inadvertently or on purpose, I don't know, but those types of comments wind up holding weight with people.
Yeah,
and those are the types of comments that's like, oh, someone should kill President Trump, for example, that leads some lunatic who loves whoever said that.
Which is how we ended up with the election cycle that we ended up with.
Absolutely.
And like, that's the thing is like, he doesn't seem to understand like the power of words.
Yeah. And how other people will take them.
Or even worse, maybe he really does understand the power of words.
That's what I'm saying. What if he's actually saying that on purpose so that someone would go, you know what? I really like that guy. Yeah. He would love me if I went and did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I don't have time for that. Like,
look, I think Bill Burr is actually funny.
Yeah, he is.
I think he's really funny.
I agree. But until he says stuff like that.
I don't know what's going on with him right now, but like, he just seems to be unhinged, unwell. Maybe somebody needs to check in on him. Mm-hmm. Maybe somebody needs to take him for a Coke and a cheeseburger. I don't know. But like, he does not seem well. Yeah. He keeps seeming to be saying these dumb things that are unreconcilable with like polite society. Right. And maybe he doesn't want to be part of polite society. And look, if you don't, by all means, go. Right. Like, you're not that funny.
You're not going to bother me if you leave.
Look, funny people are a dime a dozen, man. There's plenty of people willing to take your spot.
They're waiting in the wings. Yeah. Many of them. But there's no space. So
go tell your jokes in Serbia. I'm sure they'll like you.
I'm sure they will.
So the other one is this, and this is kind of an old story, but I thought it was interesting. And this was back in May of 2024, the Katy Perry thing. I think I sent you
you did.
What's her name? Shoot.
I'm going to have to go find it now because I can't remember. Brett Cooper. Yeah.
Who has kind of her own interesting thing going on. She's separated from the Daily Wire. Right. But she had this short that I found that I sent to you where Katy Perry and she won, by the way, back in May of 2024, harassed this elderly man, her and her hubby, Legolas, out of his estate in California. Yeah. Which
multiple $1 million estate.
Yeah. So, here's the thing. The dude was 84 years old. Yeah. Former special forces in the Army. Right. Founded the 1-800-Flowers company. Yeah. That's how he made his fortune. Like, actually built a business, didn't sing a song. And was under the influence of opiates because of a major back surgery he was going under while 84 years old.
Right.
And I think this was back in 2020.
Okay.
And at least according to what I've been able to find, he's currently under care at an assisted living facility in Texas, which is closer to where his son is, who is also married to like some woman who's like 4 inches taller than him and was somebody that everybody knew from the Housewives of Dallas or something. Anyway.
Interesting.
Yeah. But anyway, she essentially bullied this man out of his home via her agent who acted on her behalf. And they're living there now.
Oh, are they?
Oh, yeah.
But my understanding is this isn't the first time that's happened.
No.
That's the scandal.
Yeah.
More than the scandal.
Not the first elderly person that she's bullied out of a property.
What in the world?
The other one was a convent and bullied a bunch of nuns out of the property. And one of them like dropped dead in the courtroom while trying to defend their property.
What?
Yes. So she has a history of this.
What kind of person do you have to be to go after elderly people's estates?
Look, she has a pattern. And so here's the funny part is it looks like California is going to be passing what they're going to be calling the Katy Perry law.
Oh my goodness.
Which allows individuals, I think it's over the age of 72, a 72-hour window to recant on any real estate transactions.
Oh my goodness.
Because their claim was like, look, he was doped up.
Sure.
He was in pain. He didn't know what he was doing.
Sure.
He sold, a property that he bought in 2020 for like $11.5 million in 2022, sold it for 15.
Right.
And didn't want to, at least according to the family, didn't want to sell it.
Sure.
So, and I homeowner show confession. I have my own connection to Katy Perry.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I didn't know this. This is breaking news even to this guy.
I don't think I've ever told this story.
All right, here we go. Story time with Craig.
It's been years and years. She called me once.
What?
Yeah.
Why? And how? And why?
So a lot of people don't know that back in the day, Katy Perry was a Christian musician.
I did know.
And she went by the name Katie Hudson.
Yep.
And she called me on the phone. I was putting together, I'd organized a concert with back then a really well-known Christian band called Sonic Flood.
I remember them.
Yeah, really, really good.
Yep.
And we had Sonic Flood. Who else did we have?
Is that down at Bamel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, where the big youth center is now, it was a baseball field, and we were going to do an outdoor concert. And anyway, we had connected with KSBJ, the local radio station, and we had about 4 to 6 acts booked.
Okay.
And she called me and was like, "Hey, I hear you're putting on this big show in Houston. I'd love to come play." And I was like, "Well, who are you?" And she's like, my name's Katie Hudson. Let me send you my album. And she was with a label at the time.
Sure.
Sent me the album and was like really wanting to come play the show.
Yeah.
So the show ended up getting canceled.
I remember that.
But like like later on in life, I was like, I heard her sing and I was like, that's like, and I have the album.
Yeah.
And it was a good, I'll say this. It was a good album.
Okay.
Her Christian album. It was really good. She had a very...
It's not surprising.
It's very different from what she's doing now.
Sure.
She had more of like a jazz punk
she's
sound to her.
She's from Louisiana, isn't she?
I don't know. I don't know, honestly.
I think she is.
That's possible.
But that kind of tracks, if that's the case.
But it was just later on in life when she got so big, I was just like... I know you.
I know you. I didn't know you were going to kiss a girl, but I know you.
It tracks. The music tracks.
It does. It does.
So
wow.
Anyway, that whole real estate thing and like...
how bizarre.
It's just bizarre. It's really bizarre. And also like her house didn't burn in the fires.
Of course not.
Mel Gibson's did though.
It did.
So anyway, Shark AI.
So this is a robot vacuum, which this is not the first robot vacuum we've reviewed.
Right.
I've got one that I love, the Roborock, But you purchased this one. When?
It was a special going on right before Christmas.
Okay.
And like we have people that come and clean our house on a regular basis. And just because my wife and I are crazy busy.
Yeah.
And we do our best to keep the house clean, but it's nice to have somebody come through. But like we have dogs that stay inside the house and Australian Shepherds, and they have lots of hair.
Yep. And
my wife was like, I really wish there was a way that we could convince the kids to like vacuum on a regular basis. I was like, that's never going to happen.
Hey kids, would you please?
Yeah. Like they don't even do the thing that's right when we're standing right in front of them. It's like, why would we expect them to do it when we're not?
Let's be realistic.
Yeah. So I was like, look, why don't we just get a robot vacuum? I mean, like, and see if it helps.
Sure.
So we found this one. It was on sale right before Christmas. And it had all the features I was looking at, because I didn't need a mop like what you needed.
Right.
And my house is 3 stories. And I was like, I just need it for the downstairs.
Right.
That seems where we have the most trouble, because like the dogs like to sleep around our bed. And so there's just constant hair on our rugs, on our floor. And it's real obvious because they're white.
Yeah. Yep.
So we got it set up. Here, I mean, the long and short of it is this: if you have laminate floors, hardwood floors, tile, or anything like that, I think this is a great product for you.
Okay.
I think it could really do a good job.
Okay.
The mapping system on it is incredible.
Okay.
And I think that's the AI part of the vacuum. It does a real good job of mapping the area that it needs to do. Now, if you're going to have it map the area that you want it to do, make sure and have everything off the floor.
Yeah.
Where you want it to vacuum.
Yeah, because otherwise it's going to mark that as a spot, or I'm going to go around that or whatever.
Right. The problem with that is later on, if you have stuff on the floor and it sets off on its automatic task, like it could get a little bungled.
Sure.
I mean, it could happen.
Yeah.
And it has happened several times.
Okay.
Also, it does not do well with extension cords.
Yeah.
It does not like those.
It's going to tangle them up, or does it just tangle up, or does it actually like stop? How does that work?
I've seen it do a couple different things, man.
Okay.
I've seen it like just, press on and eventually get over it. I've seen it get tangled up in it. I've seen it hit it and move on and turn around and go the other direction. I've seen it do a bunch of different stuff.
Okay.
So there's not like a general response to it. It just doesn't do well with any extension cord. Like, because we have a lamp on a table in the middle of our living room, and the only way to get power to it, there's not like a plug in the floor or anything. You got to run an extension cord. And unless you have like a rug going over that, it's going to hit that cord.
Sure.
Until I figure out another solution, that's just the way it is.
Yep.
So the mapping system on it is great. And it does a real good job of showing you the areas that it's going to hit. It says that it has really great suction.
It does.
I tend to disagree.
Okay.
Like I said, if you have hardwood, laminate, vinyl, anything like that, like a hard floor, I think it's going to do fine. I think it's going to have plenty of suction to pick up whatever it is. Pardon the pun, it sucks at picking up stuff off our rug.
Okay.
It's not great at it.
All right.
I've seen it leave pine needles. I've seen it leave leaves. I've seen it roll over them and just not even touch them.
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't even get it, because it has like the 2 little wipers on the front. It has the roller underneath. And it just doesn't seem to be able to pick them up.
Right.
And I honestly we've had it for 3 months now, and I've yet to have to empty the storage bin at the home base unit.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's not picking up a whole lot.
Yeah, that's true.
So
let me just give you so did you know that there was actually a number rating put to suction power?
No.
I didn't either. But there is, PA is the I guess the denotation. I don't know.
Okay. You don't know what that stands for?
No, actually I don't.
Okay.
But it's how they, but you'll be able to tell just by the number. So what I can see, and again, this may be off, but The suction power of the Shark AI is between 2000 and 2600 PA. And comparatively to like the Roborock, which is a newer brand. I mean, the brand that we have done before. They've got some newer models out there.
Just FYI, PA stands for Pascal.
Pascal. Okay, see, tells you how much I know.
Which is the International System of Units for Pressure.
Okay, so 2000, 2600. The S8 series, which is not the newest series. The newest series of Roborock are more powerful than this. Theirs is 6,000.
Okay.
So it's 3 times the suction power of the Shark. So again, kind of is what it is as far as that goes. But it's interesting to know. What's crazy is that the new one, the newer Roborocks, they boast an 18,000 PA.
Holy cow!
Yeah, which is insane.
Yeah.
And so again, there's a huge difference though, because the Shark that you bought, like right now it's $330. The other one I was talking about, it's $1,500.
Right.
So there's a huge, massive difference in what you're going to pay.
I think the Roborock, again, like if you have like carpet,
yeah,
I think that's the way to go. Like,
sure.
But again, if you have like vinyl or something like that, like
you don't
again,
need you don't need a
surface,
high suction.
You don't
power.
need a high suction,
right?
And so something like that will work. And that's what I'm trying to get at is the places in our house where because most of our downstairs is a wood.
Mm-hmm.
And it picks up off of that fine. It's the carpet where it really struggles.
Sure.
The other thing that I would say where it gets kind of a negative hit is the roller.
Okay.
And I don't know that this is any fault of it or its design or anything like that, but I live in a house with 3 girls and 2 long-haired dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Like that roller gets wrapped up super quick.
Right.
And that's a big part of how it's even able to like pick stuff up and put it into the wave of the suction.
Sure.
And so like when that becomes, entangled, like it's just not going to work as well. And it happens really quick because I mean that's part of why we got it was to pick up hair.
So and so how easy is it to clean that?
That's actually really easy.
Okay.
I mean like to take that thing out and pop it out. I mean I've having never done it before, I figured it out in all of about 30 seconds.
Perfect. I mean, that to me, that makes a difference. I mean, if it was like, oh yeah, really difficult. In fact, we've had robot vacuums probably for 12 years or so. Massive different variations of them along the way, maybe even longer than that now that I think about it. But one of the things is like not just that roller that you're talking about, but the actual brush would get tangled up a lot, and it would get tangled up around the axle quite a bit. Well, I don't know how the Shark does it. It's probably similar because a lot of these are taking tips from each other. But now those axles are removable from the brush. And you just take the hair or whatever is tangled up, take it off, put that axle back on, boom, good to go.
It took me like 5 minutes to clean it.
It's not bad.
That's included in like the 30 seconds it took me to like figure out how to take it off. But like it was real obvious, like, oh, this is ineffective because it's full of hair.
Sure.
So one of the other things I think that's really nice, the app for this vacuum is really, really well made.
Okay.
It has its pluses and minuses.
Sure.
The pluses is the mapping. You can have multiple units. You can have multiple rooms operating off the single app.
Okay.
It also has what it's called matrix cleaning.
Okay.
Which means it drops a area and you can say, I want you to clean this specific area right now. And I think most of them have something similar to that.
Yep. At least most of the newer ones do.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I've tried it a few times on our carpet just to see like if I can see like a before and after. I couldn't tell much of a difference.
Okay.
The other thing that I'll say about it is I wish that the matrix cleaning had adjustments.
Okay.
Because it's a set space that you can't
Oh,
change.
really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And what I wish is like that it, sort of like cropping a photo. I wish it had to where you could
Just
like
drag and drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, just do this area or
Right.
make it bigger or whatever it is. Like, I wish it had that feature.
Yeah.
And I played around with it for a long time trying to like, maybe I can change it. And it doesn't.
Yeah.
And so I wish it had, because the way the size of the matrix that it has on it right now, it's just smaller than my carpet
Oh.
that I have dropped in there. It's like, this seems, so like I'm gonna have to run it twice.
Do it twice.
Which
is frustrating.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
And it's like, just let me adjust.
And why of all things that you didn't build into this, that was one of them.
Yeah.
You did all this other stuff. Well, and what I'm hearing, and again, I go look at it, but here's the thing. If you want a robot vacuum,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not interested in spending $1,500,
Yeah.
which is, trust me, it's a substantial amount of money that
For a
you're
vacuum
for a
cleaner.
vacuum cleaner. And you're going, man, I didn't even buy a Kirby. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
some crazy brand. But the truth is that one, it's unbelievable what it will do. Like, it's got face recognition on it. Like, it would know it's you.
Right.
And like go around you. Crazy things that it will do. I mean, I was telling you earlier, like it warms the water before it mops, like crazy stuff. But if you want to spend under $400 on a robot vacuum and get something that's gonna get the job done, it's gonna, especially if you're on hardwood, like you're talking about.
I think that's the biggest thing.
Do that.
Yeah. If you don't have like a lot of area rugs, or maybe it
Small pile.
well, I mean,
area rugs.
It could be a thinner area.
Yeah,
rug.
like that's what I mean. The
You know.
pile, the thickness of it.
Yeah.
A low pile would probably do better,
Right.
than a heavier
Which
pile.
I don't have downstairs. I have
Sure.
I have a cow hide rug next to my bed,
Mhm.
which that's got a lot of hair on
It
it.
does. It's
And then I've got a thicker rug in my living room, and it just doesn't clean those very well.
Yeah.
But like all the areas where there's not a rug, it does great.
yeah. Well,
So-
it's a decent option. You're not
Oh, yeah, no,
disappointed in it.
yeah.
You're not like, I throw this piece of junk away.
Right.
It does what it says it's gonna do. It self empties, right?
Yep.
You can tell it what to do through Alexa, right?
Yeah.
So
You can.
So yeah, there's some really cool things that it does, and for the price, I mean, I'll tell you,
The price is great.
Because you
Honestly, that's why we were willing to try it out.
sure, because even if you go to Walmart, you buy an iRobot or whatever you buy, like many of those they're just expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not unusual to spend $7, $8, $9, $10, $1,000, $1,000.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
or more.
I'll also say this: the reason we were willing to try it out is we've had a regular Shark vacuum in the past
Liked it.
and loved it.
Yeah, I've got one too. And
still
I like
have it.
Yep, I've got one too. I love it.
So
In fact, I love it so much that it broke, and I bought the same one again. I tried to fix it, and it was like, for this much money, I can just buy another one.
Yeah.
I loved it,
No,
and
they-
we still have
they
it.
make good
we don't
vacuum
use
cleaners.
it, but I mean, honestly, no joke. I can't tell you the last time I vacuumed my house because our robot goes every day,
Yeah.
except on the weekends. We don't have to go on Saturday and Sunday because we're just there.
Right.
But every other day,
You'll have it go during the day while you're gone, right?
every day while we're gone.
That's how I have this
And
one.
so every day our house is clean. It's wonderful.
I'll tell you the other thing about it that I was surprised. I thought my dogs would freak out about it,
Oh yeah.
and they haven't.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. My dog doesn't either. Where she did over the hand push.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's me doing something with it versus this. It's just kind of like, whatever. What is this
Right.
thing? But that is interesting because ours doesn't either.
Yeah. It
So-
could be like the frequency because I think
Yeah.
it's not. They're not as loud.
Well, they don't have as much suction power.
Right.
I mean, so literally they don't need to be as loud because of that. Now, some of these newer robot vacuums
Very
they're getting
powerful.
on up there, but they're not what a Dyson's going to be,
Right.
So
Hmm.
interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
There's
Well,
a dog
leave-
expert out there that could explain it to us.
I'm sure there is. we'll post it up in the comments below. So thank you guys for joining us. That's going to do it for today's episode. If you haven't already, go ahead and check that little box, like and subscribe us. And if you have not already subscribed on YouTube, what are you doing?
Yeah,
you should have already done that.
Come on, don't be a Bill Burr.
That's right. Go and subscribe to us on Facebook too. It's where we put a lot of stuff there, and Instagram, YouTube. We appreciate you guys. Till next time, we'll see you later.
See ya.